Daily Bitcoin Pod. Let's get it. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. And did you know it's International Bitcoin Day on 11/11? That's right. Today is a day for us to celebrate peace and love, which is what Bitcoin represents. Bitcoin is perfect money, and perfect money perpetuates peace and love. Also in today's show, we're going to be discussing why the Solana price action is literally up over 50% thus far this week. We'll also be discussing BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, argues that the SEC has no grounds to treat crypto futures any different than the spot ETFs. We'll also be discussing Grayscale constructively engaging with the SEC on their spot Bitcoin ETF. I'll be sharing the latest updates from their CEO. Also breaking news, Arthur Hayes says Ethereum could explode by over 4,600%. And he also doubles down on his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. Also, according to the Giga Chad Michael Saylor, demand for Bitcoin can grow by up to 10x within the next 12 months. Now, 10x from here, we're talking about a $370,000 Bitcoin price action. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome y'all just joining in. I appreciate $0 Giro, the super chat each and every day without fail. You're the man. How is the stream today? Let me know your feedback. Robbie Kaiser, what it do? Jazz Tech, good to see ya. Justin Campbell, happy Sat Stack and Saturday. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, and happy Bitcoin International Bitcoin Day. Yeah, I mean, let's freaking go. 11/11, a divine omen, a day we celebrate. What it do, Jack? Appreciate you, fam. 420 is the next all-time high. I hope you're right, Kevin Cortez. That's one hell of a target, to say the least. Shout out to Digital Dankness. Shout out to all of our moderators. Bitcoin Maximus. We got the Coin Father. Again, shout out to all the veterans out there. The stream looks good today, says Melda. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Thank you, Satoshi. Let's go. Now we can get an epic another show on for you today. What it do, Eye of the Beholder. Happy Vets Day. Shout out to all the veterans. Shout out to Bit Granny. Appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, shout out to Digital Dankness for making the overlay today to celebrate Veterans Day as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button. You'll get an on-screen shout out. You also get some recognition. And be sure to hit the like button, as it helps out tremendously with that YouTube algorithm. Today is episode number 1458 of the Crypto News Alerts pod. I'm your host, JV, and today is November 11th, so we celebrate 11/11, International Bitcoin Day. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Bitcoin's been holding 37,000, which is a great sign. It seems 37,000 has established as a new support. The current annual high is roughly 38, so we got to break above that before we can expect to break out back above 40,000, which is another major psychological resistance. You can see Ether trading just under $2,100. This is pretty much the highest price action we have seen for Ethereum in the past 18 months, along with Bitcoin hitting around that 38,000 mark. Solana's up another 10% for the day. We also have XRP, Cardano, and BNB in the green for the day. And as they say, when in doubt, zoom out. So let's check out these stats on the top cryptos for the past month. Bitcoin is now up 39% past 30 days. Moonvember, let's freaking go. You can see Ethereum up roughly 33%. We got BNB up 23%, XRP up 38%, Cardano up 58%, and Solana up a whopping 173%. Good Lord. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current crypto market cap, the highest we've seen it in a minute as well, currently at 1.43 trillion with roughly 56 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance has taken a step back, currently at 51% even, as the Ethereum dominance has been on the climb, currently at 17.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we got Celestia up 37%, trading just under $4, followed by Kronos up almost 27%, trading just under 12 cents, followed by Thorchain up 15%, trading at $4.64. Which altcoins are you currently bullish on for this bull run? Let me know in those comments. And also checking out Crypto Bubbles, we can see the top gainers for the past day. Again, you have a sea of green, but only a handful in the red as the bullish momentum continues in the market. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, shows we're currently rated a 70 in greed, same as yesterday. Last week a 68, and last month is a 45 in fear. So there you have it, crypto fam. Are you guys pretty bullish here now that we're almost approaching midway through Moonvember? Let me know. There's still lots of rumors. We can be seeing an SEC approval sometime this month, potentially this week. We're going to be discussing that a little later on in the show. What it do, Bango? That's right. There's a finite limited supply of Bitcoin. No other crypto could say the same when it comes to decentralization. It's the fact that it's unconfiscatable, it's incorruptible, and all of those things working towards Bitcoin's greatness. Every day is Bitcoin Day in my life. Amen, Bango. I agree with that sentiment. eBank says Litecoin can also be a big winner. Buy them. Right on. Typically, Litecoin tends to lead the charge, but it's been interesting since the halving of Litecoin this year. We didn't see a big pump, which was interesting. It might 10x says Melda. Well, that's what we're going to be discussing today, the Bitcoin price action 10xing along with demand, as per the Giga Chat himself, Michael Saylor. What up, Chris? What it do? And don't forget, this is a live and interactive show, first and foremost. So make sure to let me know where you're tuning in from and interact so we could, have some good conversations throughout today's episode. Bullish as what? Says Stelling with Twins. Love to hear that. Shout out to Tim's Crypto. Will Stopson says always bullish. That's what's up. Solana has a fire dancer coming soon. Seems to be that way, Melda. Now let's break down today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts or where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. Here we go. Now, Bitcoin stalls at 37,000. The business week started on a negative note with Bitcoin slipping below 35,000 amid the lower trading volumes. However, things quickly picked up on Tuesday and the bulls sent Bitcoin flying to almost 26, I guess they mean $36,000. Jesus. Now, although the asset was unable to overcome that level at first, it was pushed back down to 35.2 and then reversed its trajectory on Wednesday evening and Thursday, seeing a massive surge on Thursday that brought it to an 18-month peak of roughly 38,000. How many of you watched the live pump party we had at midnight? I did a 12-hour stream. We literally hit $37,999.99. Nevertheless, the bears intercepted that move at that point, driving Bitcoin south hard. And I believe the reason for that was the news breaking with BlackRock launching an ETF for Ethereum, which took all the momentum from the Bitcoin pump. And in a matter of minutes, Bitcoin found itself dumping to just under 36,000. But the bulls managed to intervene once more and started recovering some of the lost ground. Nevertheless, Bitcoin couldn't go higher than 37.6. Actually, it was 37.9, according to the exchange we were watching on the watch party, just FYI. And but anyways, we've been currently sitting above 37, so it makes me believe that 37,000 is now a strong support, which is a good sign. And also, Bitcoin market cap remains above 720 billion, which is as high as we've seen it in quite some time, with the Bitcoin dominance over the alts still at 51.5%, according to Coin Market Cap. Now, interestingly enough, one of those top gainers was Scam Token, one of Sam's tokens, FTT, which is killing it right now in the market. Ethereum was amongst the top performers of the past few days as well, thanks to BlackRock registering their trademark in Delaware to potentially file for the spot Ethereum ETF in the States, which ultimately means BlackRock is coming for all your Bitcoin and all your Ethereum. The second largest digital asset shot up by over $200 in hours, marking a 7-month high at over 2,100 just yesterday. Now, though, ETH is slightly in the red, sitting just below 2,100. On the other hand, we got XRP, Chainlink, Cardano with some minor gains. Solana and Dogecoin, Tron, Polkadot, and Shiba and Avalanche, though, have skyrocketed by more impressive percentages. In the case of Solana and SHIB, the gains are double digits. FTT, today's top performer, FTX's native token soared 45% on the daily and 250% on the weekly. Just goes to show you how many degens there are in this crypto space. This comes amid rumors indicating the exchange could be revived soon. Could you imagine FTX 2.0? Even the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, laid out the conditions under which FTX could be reactivated. Red alert, red flag. Wouldn't touch FTX or FTT. crazy with a 10-foot pole, but nonetheless, these scam tokens tend to always be pumping. So it just goes to show you there's profits to be made virtually in every cryptocurrency. And checking out some of the technicals here over on TradingView, you can currently see on the 1 day for the buy signals, there's 14, only 3 sell signals and 9 are neutral. With the oscillators for Bitcoin, we have 8 neutral signals, 2 sell and 1 buy. And for the moving averages, we got 1 sell signal, 1 neutral signal, and 13 buy signals. Good Lord. BTFD, buy that freaking dip, never look back. Now, again, today is International Bitcoin Day on 11/11. I announced this date. Actually, it was Max Kaiser a few weeks ago. He said we should celebrate an International Bitcoin Day. Then I proposed in a tweet, it should be on 11/11 because it's a divine omen. And so be it. We were born the birth of Happy International Bitcoin Day on today, the same day as Veterans Day. As I wrote here, today is a day for us to celebrate peace and love, which is what Bitcoin represents. Bitcoin is perfect money, and perfect money perpetuates peace and love. Fiat currency perpetuates war and violence. And as shared here by Chill ETH, Happy International Bitcoin Day 11/11. Bitcoin provides freedom and sovereignty for all, the one and only true scarce asset that is made for humanity. Let's all celebrate today and keep stacking them sats as Bitcoin adoption continues around the freaking world. So there you go. Happy International Bitcoin Day to my entire fam. Let's all celebrate today and stack some sats. What up, Chris? He says, F those miners. They were good during the summer, but not no more, baby. Satoshi's birthday, $0 G-Row. What it do? What up? Polish Independence Day. Oh, Polish Independence. Good to note, Chain State. I didn't know that. So it seems to be a lot of holidays on 11/11. So it is a divine day, 100%. Bango says most will lose in crypto, but most will win in Bitcoin. Preach. That's what's up. Yeah, what up, TI? eBank, we're expecting the Litecoin will over $100 soon. Do your own research, says eBank. The hash rate is so high, the miners can take a hit this halving. That's right, the hash rate continues to hit unprecedented levels never seen before. And as we all know, the hash rate is a lagging indicator to the Bitcoin price action. Where can I see those oscillators at, JV? Just go to TradingView. I just go to TradingView, the same place I pull up the charts on the pump watch days, and you can see all the technicals for Bitcoin. Good to hear that's helpful for you. We'll be including them more in the future shows as well. But anyways, fam, we have lots to cover. So without further ado, why in the world is Solana pumping like a mofo, up over 50% for the week, up over 20% for the day, up hundreds of percent for the month? Well, let's discuss it. Typically, we don't focus on alts, but when you have massive gains like this on a top crypto, we have to cover it and see what's really going on with Solana right now. So let's break this down. The price of Solana has soared now over 50% on the week to establish a new 2023 high of $58. That is Solana's best weekly performance since January of this year. Many factors contributed to the gains, which include a general crypto market uptrend led by Bitcoin's ETF euphoria, let's go, and the growing appetite for risks overall. And here you're looking at the Solana weekly price chart. I know Raoul Pal must be feeling good about his position right now, as he said he was mostly all in on Solana in his portfolio a few weeks back. But anyways, Solana's rise coincides with the daily selling of 250,000 to 750,000 Solana tokens by the FTX bankruptcy estate. In the last 2 weeks, as Blunt Capital shares here, FTX has been selling between 250 and 700,000 Solana every day for the last 2 weeks, while the price has either been going up or sideways. So far, it's been getting absorbed like a champ, and at the current rate, their unlocked token should be depleted within a week. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Now, the Delaware bankruptcy court approved the sale of 55.7 million Solana tokens in September of 2023. The limited impact of these sales due to some tokens being either vested or locked away, and a weekly sale limit of $100 million has transformed initial fears into investor enthusiasm. For instance, Solana-focused funds, one of the barometers to gauge institutional flows in the Solana market, witnessed inflows worth $10 million in the week ending in November 3rd, according to CoinShares. As we can see here, flows by asset, showing you Bitcoin, Ethereum, multi-asset, Solana, Binance, Litecoin, short Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, Tron, and others. Now, the Bitcoin ETF euphoria is one of the primary catalysts for the overall uptrend in the current crypto price actions, led by Bitcoin's rise towards 38,000. Solana, however, has been the best performer in the past 30 days. As we can see here, Solana now up 160% in the past month, whereas Bitcoin is up almost 40%. And we also have Cardano up a whopping 54%, Chainlink up 108%, Matic up 59%. Can you say alt season? Seems like it. Now, Solana's futures open interest reached a significant level of around $772 million today, November 11th, the highest since November of 2021. And it was roughly 2 years ago at this week that we hit the all-time high of 69,000. If you don't know, now you know. Now, when Solana's price established its record high of $260, remember that was the height of the market. Now, high open interest levels indicate the greater interest and potentially greater liquidity for the crypto market. Meanwhile, Solana's rising open interest coincides with increasing funding rates, a fee paid by one side of perpetual contracts to the other every 8 hours. A positive funding rate, which typically means that the longs are dominant in the market. An example, they're paying short sellers. Earlier this week, Solana's funding rate increased 0.035 per 8 hours. This funding rate represents 0.7% weekly costs for leverage longs, suggesting strong bullish sentiment in the market. Now, a rising open interest and funding rate together hints at a higher appetite for leverage longs amongst investors. So simply put, most derivative traders anticipate the Solana price rally to continue further, hence why they are bullish right now. So I'd love to know how many of you are currently bullish on Solana. Do let me know. Solana's gains this week appear to be a part of the bullish breakout move. Notably, Solana's price broke above the horizontal trendline resistance of its ascending triangle channel 2 weeks ago, as outlined here in the Solana weekly chart. So if this ascending triangle bottom reversal plays out, the upside target for Solana before the end of the year is roughly $90, up 50% from the current price level. So let me know by your comments how many of you think Solana will hit that target of $90 before the end of the year. Let me know. Now let's discuss the bears. Will pin their hopes on the weekly RSI, which is now at its most overbought level since September of 2021. So we could also crash. You got to keep that in mind as well, especially after appreciating 160% roughly in the past month. But again, let me know which altcoins this bull season you're most bullish on in the comments, and I'll start reading them out loud. Honestly, don't think we will see the prices this low on Bitcoin again, aside some minor temporary consolidation, according to Zero. I think you're right. I think this is your last opportunity to take advantage of the Bitcoin 2-for-1 fire sale, right? Because eventually we'll be back above 40. We may never revisit the 30s ever again. I now have over 100,000 Satoshis. It's like a flea on a dog, says Picky Ricky. Well, keep stacking them sats, fam. You know what I mean? Keep accumulating dollar cost average. That's the name of the game. Dankness says because only one miner gets the right answer and the reward, the more miners means the odds you're going to get the right answer is slim. That means your power is being used with no results. Picky Ricky, you have more than most people, says Melda. Bud, what it do? Bitcoin and ETH, all I'm counting on. Right on. That's exactly what BlackRock is going after, Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're fighting over the rewards, basically, says Chris. Dankness says exactly. I'm trying, but I only have $700 in crypto, and I can't go all in on Bitcoin for that reason. Well, guess what? You could actually go all in on Bitcoin. You just purchase as much Bitcoin as you can. The cool thing about Bitcoin, fam, don't get it twisted. You don't need 37,000 to be a Bitcoin investor and get in the game. You can get in the game with $7. So 700 is more than enough money to get your position with Bitcoin. It's the fastest horse in the race with the least risk, and it's going to rip as we enter 2024 and 2025. Mark my words. We'll never see 30,000 again, says Mestic. This could be true. Chili's for me and XRP and ETH, says Fairground. Shout out to the UK. On Matrix, what it do? Ishcoin's playing all kinds of games, trying to keep up the cash out of Bitcoin. They have no reason to run now, right as everyone is watching. The king, word up. FTT is going to hell like crazy, right? How is it even still in existence? You know what I mean? Considering it was the official scam token of FTX. Makes no sense to me, but a lot of degens held on to their stacks. Could it be Gary Gensler and some of the insiders holding FTT tokens, wanting to reboot the exchange? Things that make you go, what are your thoughts, fam? Now says the miners will rip a hole in the sky over the next 24 months, says Nate. What'd it do, Nate? Felix, what'd it do? Dang, so Bitcoin would have to be like, what, 50 to 70,000 for money to probably start flowing back into the miners. Ask Chris. Preach, bro. Shout out to Eye of the Beholder. Appreciate you tuning in. My biggest bags are XRP and Stellar Lumen, says Picky Ricky. Well, I see you like supporting the banks and central bank digital currencies. Why not support Bitcoin and the sovereignty and freedom and peace and love, which it represents? I started with $400, says James. Well, there you go. Started from the bottom. Now we here. What up, Fade and TradeFi? I thought this was a non-ish coin channel. I'm pleasantly surprised. Sherry Young says there is no second best. Amen. City Sports Bar. Yeah, I mean, he's reporting the news, says Dankness. Thank you, fam. Should I hodl my 2 Bitcoin or sell one now? Why would you want to sell it? Where's the logic in that? Please do let me know. JB, don't pump. He's the top G. I appreciate you, fam. Anyways, let's dive into our next breaking story of the day. We got a lot to cover. We covered the Solana pump. Now let's discuss BlackRock and ETFs, which are on everyone's mind right now. Here's the latest. BlackRock has argued that the US SEC doesn't have any legitimate reason to treat a spot crypto and crypto futures exchange traded fund applications differently. You hear that? No clarity, Gary Gensler? Now, BlackRock's plan for the spot ETH ETF, called the iShares Ethereum Trust, was officially confirmed on November 9th after NASDAQ submitted the 19B4 app form to the SEC on the firm's behalf. In its app, BlackRock called the SEC's treatment of spot crypto ETFs into question, as it asserted that the agency bases its reasons for continually denying these applications on incorrect regulatory distinctions between futures and spot ETFs. Tell him, quoting him here, given that the commission has approved ETFs that offer exposure to ETH futures, which themselves are priced based on the underlying spot Ethereum market, the sponsor believes that the commission must also approve ETPs that offer exposure to spot ETH. And as Jake Stravinsky shared here, I took Scott's advice and read BlackRock's argument for approval of the spot ETH ETF. It's very compelling. The argument flows from Grayscale's DC Circuit victory. The SEC can't lawfully approve ETH futures ETFs, but not a spot ETH ETF. I agree. Very interesting. So the SEC has yet to greenlight a single spot crypto ETF application, but has approved a host of crypto futures ETFs. I wonder why. Market manipulation, not giving the investors what they want, and not looking out on the best interests of investors. That, my friend, is a fact. Now, the securities regulator indicated that this is due to crypto future ETFs having supposedly superior regulation and consumer protections under the 1940 Act, as opposed to the 1933 Act that covers spot crypto ETFs. Why are we still citing laws from almost 100 years ago? It's kind of crazy. Anyways, additionally, the SEC also appears to favor the regulation and surveillance sharing agreements over the CME's digital asset futures market. BlackRock argues, however, that the SEC's preference for the 1940 Act lacks relevance in this area, as it places certain restrictions on ETFs and ETF sponsors, and not the underlying assets of the ETFs. They make a great point, quoting them here. Notably, none of these restrictions address an ETF's underlying assets, whether Ethereum futures or spot Ethereum, or the markets from which such assets pricing is derived, whether the CME ETH futures market or spot ETH markets. So as a result, the sponsor believes that the distinction between registration of ETH futures ETFs under the 1940 Act and the registration of spot ETH ETPs under the 1933 Act is one without a difference in the context of ETH-based ETP proposals. Now, BlackRock outlined that the SEC has approved crypto futures ETFs via the CME. It has clearly determined that the CME surveillance can detect spot market fraud that would affect spot ETPs. And as such, in the firm's eyes, it essentially leaves the SEC with no justifiable reason to reject the application under its current line of thinking. That's what's up. So you can only kick the can down the road for so long, you know what I mean? Referring to the SEC here. Now, it is generally thought amongst crypto and ETF analysts that the first SEC approval of a spot crypto ETF in the form of a Bitcoin related one is right around the corner. Word has it, we could be getting that green light this month in November, potentially even this week, as there is a window of opportunity open for the SEC to do so. But we also must consider that just because we get the approval this month doesn't necessarily mean it will launch this month. It probably wouldn't be until the following month. Now, Bloomberg ETF analysts James Safart and Eric Balchunas both predict a 90% chance of approval sometime before January 10th of next year. But let me know your thoughts, fan. When spot ETF in the United States, where do you feel will likely get that green light first from the SEC? Do you think it'll be a collective of all dozen of these apps being approved at the same time? Or do you think BlackRock will get that first mover's advantage, potentially Grayscale with the GBTC converting their product into a spot Bitcoin ETF? They currently already hold over 600,000 BTC on their balance sheet. Let's not forget that the game theory is in full effect around the world as well. You know what I mean? What if Hong Kong comes out and launches their Bitcoin ETF for the spot before the United States? Now, there's also talks in the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, launching Bitcoin ETF as well. So game theory in full effect. Let's freaking go. I have more Bitcoin than Ether. Smart man, Felix. Definitely a smart move. Bitcoin is my bigger holding, says Felix. Centralized coins have a human error called greed and fear running them. Preach, Will. ETH runs on servers like YouTube for fiat, says Bango. Something shockingly surprising with Ethereum. Shout out to Richard Tanner. Appreciate you subscribing to the show, fam. Ethereum's max coin supply is the infinity sign. If you look on CoinMarketCap, that's disturbing to me. I used to be very bullish on Ethereum, but once they switched their protocol from proof of work to proof of stake, I pull back and I'm all in on Bitcoin for obvious reasons. The only true decentralized coin, it's a store of value. You can't compare Ethereum as a store of value to Bitcoin knowing there is a infinite max supply. At least we know the number with Bitcoin is 21 million. There could ever be more coins in existence, and the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140. You know what I mean? Vitalik is looking sketch. Vitalik has always been sketch, or sus, as I like to say, the new generation says. Get my sats, that's right, and get them off the exchanges, not your coins. I mean, not your keys, not your coins, not your keys, not your cheese. You know what I mean? And if you get wrecked, you may end up back at Mickey D's. That was my first job, just FYI, 16 years old, flipping burgers. So I started from the bottom, now we here. Who else started from the bottom? Let me know. What up, Steve Kingston? Agreed. Vitalik is an odd bird. Can't trust them. Definitely an odd bird. Anyone knowing they're being filmed and picking their nose and wiping it on a wall is a little sus, just saying. You know what I mean? Also, the Ethereum co-founders have been dumping a lot of their ETH. Word has it, Ethereum Insider, SEC Insider. What up, Sharm? I appreciate you tuning in. Chart Metric, much love, much respect. So there's rumors that the shenanigans and the fraud going on between regulators and Ethereum and their co-founders is 1,000 times bigger than the fraud of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. Let me know if you guys agree. How many of you have looked into ETHgate? Let me know. Last week, I covered that topic on the show. It was actually very intriguing, to say the least. But nonetheless, you let me know your thoughts, fam. What up, Walter Anderson? What it do? Ishcoin, yada, yada, yada. Ishcoin makes faster gains than stack those sats. Correct. The end goal is getting as much Bitcoin for traditional scoops before the traditional scoops it all. Amen. Faden. TradeFi. That's the name of the game. Stacking them sats. About to 4x my position, says Walter. Be careful, anyone trading with leverage when there's extreme volatility in the markets, like times like this, it's very easy to get liquidated. So please note that. You have to remember Bitcoin and Ethereum are technology. Each do something different. That's right. Willy Wonka. That is true. After 2040, the last Bitcoin mine? No, I think it's 2140. How will the miners get paid for doing the proof of work to keep Bitcoin going with the fees? Correct, 2140. ETH gave us real ETH Foundation shorted ETH at the top. They sure did. And it's not a good look when your own founders are shorting your own token. You know what I mean? That's another red flag if you're to ask me. But anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day. We discussed the latest with BlackRock ETFs. Now let's discuss Grayscale, the largest Bitcoin hodler in the world, they currently have over 600,000 BTC on their balance sheet. Let's break this baby down. And if you're just joining us, be sure to say hello in that live chat. Here we go. Grayscale Investment CEO Michael Saylor discussed his company's plan to convert its flagship Bitcoin trust, known as GBTC, into a spot Bitcoin ETF in a new interview with Bloomberg at DC FinTech Week on Wednesday. The SEC originally rejected the crypto asset manager's spot Bitcoin ETF application. However, a court recently ordered the SEC to reevaluate the company's application, meaning they got the victory in court. And who took the big fat L? Gary and the SEC. Quoting them here, a couple of months ago, a decision did come out of the DC district that did vacate the SEC's denial of the GBTC uplisting to a spot Bitcoin ETF on the New York Stock Exchange. We really respected and continue to respect the court process, says the Grayscale CEO. There was a period of time that after and during which the SEC have challenged that decision. They did not, Sunshine continued. So what you have seen now over the last few weeks is our team putting in the appropriate filings in front of the SEC, including our S3 filing that now really allows us to continue to have a constructive dialogue with the SEC with all the required documents that would support us moving towards that uplisting on the New York Stock Exchange, added the executive. So timelines are certainly not something that has been discussed. But what I can tell you is that the SEC is constructively engaging at the moment. That means we know the spot ETF is a lock. They're already communicating with the SEC upon its launch, even though there is no launch dates determined at this time. But definitely a good omen, fam. The CEO believes that Grayscale has a really nice advantage over other spot ETF apps because the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has already been a well-known seasoned issuer for several years. He stressed it gives the company the ability to file an S3 as compared to some of the other issuers who have had to file S1s. Form S3 is a simplified registration statement, while Form S1 is a comprehensive one that requires companies to disclose a wide range of information about their business, financial condition, as well as management. Sunshine pointed out that other spot Bitcoin ETF apps do not yet have a product, investors, or even a trading history. He emphasized that Grayscale is optimistic it'll get through any final hurdles and its investors will finally get what they have been waiting for very patiently. Amen. Let's go. Shout out to Grayscale. Let's bring it. The executive noted that Grayscale as a team is operationally ready today, stating we have been operationally ready to operate GBTC as an ETF. So they're the only ones ready, fam. Now, we're also certainly that we have made well known to the SEC regarding competition. He said, we think it's fantastic that there are other issuers that are also trying to launch products. The Grayscale boss concluded the following: we have well been and long been prepared for a world in which there are multiple spot Bitcoin ETF products in the same way that there are multiple Bitcoin futures products. The SEC chairman, No Clarity Gary Gensler, recently said the regulator is considering between 8 to 10 spot Bitcoin ETF applications. I believe I heard currently there's 12 sitting right on his desk. Now, some analysts, including those at JP Morgan Chase, expect the SEC to approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs at once early next year. Global asset management firm AllianceBernstein expects the price of Bitcoin to reach $150,000 per coin by 2025. The firm predicted imminent approvals for spot Bitcoin ETFs. So there you have it, crypto fam. When ETF maybe equals when Lambo and when Rari. What are your thoughts, fam? I'm only 20 now. That's what's up, Felix Hopkins. Keep doing your thing. And thank God you discovered Bitcoin at such a young age. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is for the kids. Let's go. What up, JJ? Good to see you. I'm going to sip on some of this water before we dive into our next stories. Better to sell and hope than fear. Tim says, can you explain how their trust works? How do they have access to so much Bitcoin? Well, I wish I could break it down for you, but I am not Michael Saylor, unfortunately. But nonetheless, they've had their product GBTC for quite some time, and it was the only thing close to an ETF where people can invest in the company. They don't hold, so the individual investor is not holding the Bitcoin. The company, Grayscale is holding the Bitcoin on the customer's behalf, kind of similar to an ETF. You know what I mean? So they're already ready. They're the largest hodler of Bitcoin in the world. They already have the 600,000 Bitcoin, so they can offer the product. Whereas BlackRock announced seeding their ETF in October, probably hence why the Bitcoin price action was pumping, because you got BlackRock purchasing up some Bitcoin so they can launch the product. So Grayscale, GBTC, is many steps ahead of all the rest of the competition. So we'll see, maybe they get the green light first. You just really never know. Welcome, Carlos Moreno. Appreciate you tuning in. Happy Saturday off to work to buy more Bitcoin. You got to do what it do. What up, Pam? How long do you think Bitcoin is about to, I don't see the word, it cut off. So I'm not sure if you can rephrase it. What's the future of FTT? Honestly, I'm shocked it still even has value. I would have expected what happened to BitConnect coin to happen to FTT, but apparently a lot of degens held on to their bags, you know what I mean? And in hopes of a reboot of FTX, and lo and behold, that's what even the chairman of the SEC is discussing, which is ironic, isn't it? MicroStrategy is a great substitute. Thank you for sharing that, Walter Anderson. Shout out to DCA Bitcoin No Alts. Appreciate you tuning into the live. I still think the ETFs will get approved this year. Cheap sats will be gone very soon. Amen. Word up. JV, I want to hear your personal Bitcoin price prediction for this cycle. No doubt, Chris. My personal price prediction for the King is conservatively, I think the low, 220,000, which is Max Kaiser's current short-term target. I say by the year 2025, that is my absolute bearish bottom scenario, and my bull scenario is like 500,000 a coin. I think most likely we're going to float somewhere between 220,000 and 500,000 per Bitcoin for this cycle top. But let me know your thoughts, fam, if that resonates with you. I'm holding until I can buy this island I'm on. Word up, bud. Much power, much respect. Let's freaking go. Pump it up. Welcome, Stephen Minton. Appreciate you. We still got more stories to cover, so let's dive into our next prediction of the day. We have probably the most bullish Ethereum prediction I have seen in my entire life, which is a $100,000 Ethereum price prediction from Arthur Hayes, the co-founder of what used to be the largest derivatives exchange in the world, BitMEX. He's also doubling down on his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. So let's dive into this before we break into our featured story of the day, which is the latest from Michael Saylor in a new interview. He's anticipating the Bitcoin demand to climb 10x for this cycle, which can potentially take us to $370,000 per coin. But first, here's the latest from Arthur Hayes, just blaze. Let's go. BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes is doubling down on his massively bullish Bitcoin predictions while forecasting Ethereum could hit 6 figures. That's right, fam. Hayes says that the time to turn bullish on crypto right frickin' now, while unveiling a target of $100,000 per Ethereum, which is an increase of almost 5,000% from the current price action. The BitMEX founder also reiterates his prediction that Bitcoin will hit $1 million per coin. All I gotta say is this: if Ethereum did hypothetically hit 100,000, you know Bitcoin's going to 10 million. Just saying, fam. In the new blog post, Hayes further states that currencies debased across the globe, the smartest trade would be going long crypto. Amen. And according to the BitMEX founder, Bitcoin and Ethereum are crypto reserve assets, while everything else is an ish coin. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment. Now, besides Bitcoin and ETH, Hayes says there's other opportunities that exist in the crypto space, offering the potential of higher returns at a greater risk. Quoting the analyst here, then we get other layer 1 blockchains that claim to be an improvement on Ethereum. Solana is an example. These all got beaten up real bad during the bear market, and as such, they will levitate off extreme lows and provide great returns for intrepid investors. But they are still all overhyped. Me too. Pieces of ish that won't overtake Ethereum in terms of active developers, decentralized apps, better known as dApps, activity, or total value locked. Finally, all manner of dApps and their prospective tokens will pump. This is the most fun because down here is where you get the 10,000x returns. Of course, you also may likely get rugged. That's right, you may get wrecked, but there is no risk if there is no return. So there you have it, crypto fam. Let me know if you agree with Arthur Hayes just blaze, and what's your thoughts on his 6-figure Ethereum target. Do you think that is crazy nonsense, or do you think that can become a potential possibility here in the future. And what's your thoughts on him doubling down on the King crypto? And yes, he is now investing in Solana, but I know he is late to the party. He announced it a few days back on X. So yes, he is bullish on Solana as well. That would be his risk coin he's referring to. No risk, no reward. Now, Ethereum has to work 10 times harder just to get a fraction of Bitcoin's power, points out Bango. Slick Rick, what it do, fam? Appreciate you tuning in. I only add 30 bucks a week to my crypto plus 20 on stocks. Well, at least you're in the game. There's so many people in less fortunate situations which don't even have the ability to invest anything into crypto. They're too worried putting food on the table. You know what I mean? I think most people in the world are living paycheck to paycheck right now. Not a big ETH fan since the change from proof of work. Same here, fam. I have the same sentiment as you, Steve. Jaws says, is it possible if Bitcoin can hit, so can ETH? I mean, guess what? When Bitcoin goes up, a rising tide rises all ships. Ethereum is guaranteed to go up. Same with the rest of the top, altcoins as well. But if Bitcoin goes down, or if there's some crazy black swan event, every altcoin is going to get wrecked. I mean, guaranteed. So every altcoin is dependent upon Bitcoin. Without Bitcoin success, no altcoin will have any further success. That's just the way the game is played. You know what I mean? Arthur Hayes is the man, other than JV, of course. Thank you, Nate. GPU mining Ethereum was fun. I don't like the change either, says Bango. So it looks like we can all agree there. Also, what if the regulators deem Ethereum an unregistered security since they switched from proof of work to proof of stake? Wouldn't it seem staking tokens are securities? What are your thoughts? ETH does not work price, says From Eddie. Word, gotta love ETH. Gotta get a Bitcoin. I don't trust Arthur. He says some dumb-ish, says Chris. ETH used to pump before they changed it. ETH will go to 25,000 if it can go to 10. Word up. Well, anyways, fam, let's now dive into our featured story of the day. The Giga Chad Michael Saylor was recently interviewed, and he says demand for Bitcoin will 10x this bull run, and a 10x price action would take the Bitcoin price from $37,000 to $370,000 per coin. In fact, he even goes on to share that Bitcoin could hit 10 million per coin in the future. So let's break this one down. This is a brand new article just published with the Bitcoin halving just months away. MicroStrategy co-founder and Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor thinks that demand for Bitcoin can grow as much as 10x by the end of 2024. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now, during a speech just recently at the 2023 Australia Crypto Convention yesterday, November 10th, Saylor was asked to give his outlook for Bitcoin and its ecosystem over the next 4 to 5 years. How many of you were at that event in Australia? I know we got a lot of people tuned in from down under, so let me know if you got a chance to meet Michael Saylor. But anyways, in response, Saylor initially gave a rundown on the period between 2020 and 2024, noting the Bitcoin went from being seen as an offshore unregulated asset to an institutionalized mainstream app. And honing in on the near term, Saylor said the Bitcoin will become an adolescent mainstream asset by the end of 2024, as he highlighted key dynamics surrounding supply and demand that will come soon into play. Quoting him here, I think that this next 12 months is going to be big because demand on a monthly basis should double or triple or maybe go up by a factor of 10x. 10x, send it. Let's freaking go. Anywhere from 2 to 10, and the supply available for sale will be cut in half in April. That's right. We got a Bitcoin halving around the corner, roughly 5 months out, continuing. So instead of $1 billion of Bitcoin available for the miners each month, it'll be $500 million. It's pretty unprecedented that you would go from a supply and demand balance of maybe $15 billion of organic demand and $12 billion of organic supply. What happens when one doubles and the other one gets cut in half? The price is going to adjust up. He added 100%. Now, Saylor went on to describe the next 12 months for Bitcoin as its coming out party, as the asset graduates from college and heads on out to the real world. And looking at 2024 to 2028, we all know the next halving after 2024 will be 2028, just FYI. Saylor predicted the Bitcoin will continue to be in high growth stage at adoption spreads across the big tech industry and the mega banks worldwide, with both sectors integrating Bitcoin into their products and services. Saylor also says he expects to see a lot of competition amongst companies like Apple and Meta, and to get their hands on Bitcoin to eventually sell for major profits. As he shares here, you're going to have a ferocious competition and will among Wall Streeters to get the most asset share, and you're going to have crypto exchanges competing, and you're going to have other tech companies getting involved. That'll be one check microphone checker. Let's go. The other check will be the big mega banks or Bitcoin custodians with JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank. And you know, when they are making loans and giving mortgages and customizing it and buying and selling it, I think that'll be the second check. And looking even further into the future at around 25 years out, Saylor outlines some lofty predictions for the future of Bitcoin as he emphasized the Bitcoin will blow any other high quality asset out of the water. Preach, quoting him here, when it hits that terminal growth rate, maybe 20 years out, maybe 25 years, or it will be growing twice as fast or compounding twice as fast as the S&P 500 index or any other diversified high quality portfolio of assets you can buy, adding the following. So if you think about it like that, you just say, well, now we're going to double again, and we're going to double again, and we're going to double again. That coin is going to continue to progress to $1 million a coin, $2 million per coin, $5 million per coin, $10 million per coin. MicroStrategy currently is sitting on 158,400 Bitcoin, and the firm was up around $900 million on its investment as of November 2nd, virtually meaning they're now up over $1 billion on their investment. Let's freaking go. And quoting Michael Saylor right here, Bitcoin is an asset class, and that's a major revolution. If Fidelity and BlackRock and if 10 other ETF issuers all agree that Bitcoin is an asset class, which it is, it should be 10x to 100x bigger than it is right now. And run the math. What's 100x at today's price? Then we're talking $3.7 million per Bitcoin, according to the Giga Chad. Let me know if you agree or disagree. He also shares, I think there are only 3 things relevant right now, and here are those 3 things. The halving is coming with 100% certainty, which we all know, 5 months out, scheduled to take place in April of 2024. And he continues, as far as I can see, most of the selling of Bitcoin in the market is the Bitcoin miners that have to sell in order to pay their electricity bills and pay their debt expenses and their operating expenses. So that amount of selling pressure is going to be cut in half in a few months. So we know what's coming. Preach. And then we know there's a spot Bitcoin ETF coming. Amen. And when that comes, we plug into Wall Street and the entire legacy financial system, the banking system, etc. And then finally, that fair value accounting is coming. And when that happens, the objective will go away. And now you're going to introduce this as a conversation into hundreds of boardrooms. They will not move in a week. They move quarterly, but over the course of 12 quarters, you'll start to see company after company looking at this, and you'll start to see a reallocation of those assets. And at the end of the day, corporations only hold 2 assets. They hold cash and they hold bonds. And so if Bitcoin is available as an asset par pursuit to a bond, you'll see a reallocation from bonds into Bitcoin. And I'm just going to skip ahead and read you some more of the highlights here. If they start to reallocate, and they will, 1%, 2%, 5%, then you're going to have something that has never happened in the history of the world. Is you've got an ETF on a commodity that is scarce. That's right. For the first time in human history, we have true price discovery in an ETF market, which will absolutely be a game changer. Now, Michael Saylor also made some other predictions, but for here he shares, for $1 million you put in, you're getting $1 million worth of Bitcoin. What's the positive? Referring to the different ways to invest into Bitcoin using the spot Bitcoin ETF. He also recently shared that the demand is expected to double after the halving and spot Bitcoin ETF approvals. And we can even expect the Bitcoin price to drive to $5 million per coin. So let me know if you agree or disagree with the Giga Chad and his bullish Bitcoin price predictions. Shout out to Irish Crypto, Lazarus Hand, Johnny Saint, what it do? Tickets are punch. Word. Of course, it's going to go down. Always a retracement after a pump, says Lazarus. Word up. Moses knew we could cross the Red Sea. Didn't he split the Red Sea? Only thing people need to do is look and understand the price movement of Bitcoin every 4 years. That's right. The Bitcoin price is cyclical. Every 4 years, you hit the nail on the head. What up, Bango? Michael Saylor is going to be rich. That's right. There's also, according to the person who orange-pilled Michael Saylor, I think his name's Eric Weiss, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, Michael Saylor purchased a stash of 100,000 Bitcoin for him personally. So between his personal stash and MicroStrategy, we're talking about Saylor sitting on top of 258,000 BTC. That's one individual. And you really start to decipher the scarcity and how limited the Bitcoin supply truly is. You know what I mean? You got GBTC, 600,000 Bitcoin, right? According to Alex Jones, Max Kaiser sitting on top of 1 million Bitcoin. Satoshi's wallets are estimated to hold 1.1 million Bitcoin. That leaves less and less Bitcoin for the rest of us plebs. And now you have BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager in the world, going on a frenzy, buying as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as they can to seed their ETFs. So game on, fam. It's going to be lit. Link $20 end of date, says Kevin Cortez. Word up. Where are we at now with Link? Is it like 13 bucks? What up, Johnny Saint? Oh, hell yeah. Follow the money, especially the smart money. Saylor talking the talk, walking the walk. He says what he means and means what he says. I have no doubt whatsoever. I'm feeling that same way. Saylor is the Bitcoin king. Long live the king. Not just stupid. Spell correct. All good, Lazarus. We get it. I think Christmas will come early in 2024, says Robbie Kaiser. I think so too. We can have a very merry Bitcoin Christmas, can't we? And how are you guys enjoying your International Bitcoin Day 11/11? This is a day of celebration, a day of remembrance, peace, and love, which is what perfect money represents, in which Bitcoin is perfect money. Fiat currency represents war and violence. We need to unplug from the matrix, stop supporting our oppressors, stop supporting the central banking cartels, and just Bitcoin, right? You know what I mean? Let's represent peace and freedom and love and sovereignty and all the beautiful things that go along with it. And yeah, Bitcoin is the escape hatch. Thank you, Janet Yellen. Just saying. It's going to be wild. You already know, Tim. Let's freaking go. FTX is worrying as ish. FTX is crap. True. Link is pushing to $17, says Tim. I sold my Link earlier today and bought Bitcoin with it. Was a free buy. Word up, Picky Ricky. Do what it do. Here comes the dump, says Canonia. No way. We're still at 37, so let's see if 37 holds up. Let's see if we break down. It'll be interesting. It is the weekend. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? I gotta go. All good, Nate. Appreciate you tuning in. Much love, much respect. Konya, what it do? Steve, appreciate you. What relevance will MicroStrategy have when the spot ETFs are approved? Will it dump? Who knows? I don't know. I'll be honest. But I think it's going to continue to pump. I think all things related to Bitcoin are going to continue to pump. Kevin says, dude, that interview, he said, Saylor bought 10,000. Oh, okay. My correction, if I understood wrong, I thought he said 100,000. The whole point he made was that Saylor bought when Bitcoin was 10,000, and MicroStrategy called him to say, I just got 10,000 Bitcoin. Well, another question to ponder, Kevin Smith, if Saylor did purchase only 10,000 and not 100,000, how many more Bitcoin did he buy for his personal stash since 2020, if his company has been on a buying spree, even buying every top? Things that make you go, So obviously it's a mystery. For all we know, Saylor could have 1 million Bitcoin at this point. We would never know. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. You don't have to tell people how much you hold, but a publicly traded company has to disclose their holdings. Hence why we know for a fact that MicroStrategy is sitting on top of 158,000 plus BTC as they continue to buy. Let me know if that makes sense. That's right, Kitchen Lab Rat. There is no second best. Right? It's going up forever, Laura. Great show. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, fam. Rehan, what it do? Love you. Much love, much respect. Again, happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. Sam Bankman-Fried, will he ever go away? Hopefully. I think his sentencing trial begins in March, which is roughly 4 months out. We'll see how that plays out. It's going to be right before the halving, too, interestingly enough. He only bought 155 Bitcoin, I heard, this time. Right? Only. Like it's nothing. 5.1 million bucks worth. That is correct, Picky Ricky. MicroStrategy's latest buy was only 5.1 million worth, one of their smaller buys, but still a buy nonetheless. His company will be able to diversify into so many directions with that wealth, for real. MicroStrategy is doing big things right now, and MicroStrategy is up tremendously on the year. Michael Saylor believes that MicroStrategy will continue to outperform Bitcoin, but hey, there's no telling what the future holds. What happens when Bitcoin goes to $1 million and everyone sells? Why would everyone sell if Bitcoin hit $1 million? You would think more people would want to be holding on to the most appreciating asset in human history, which would be Bitcoin being up, what, 1,000,000% or more than that. I think with Bitcoin only hitting 69,000 from zero, that was a 69 million% increase. So I don't even know how to do the math when we hit $1 million per coin, fam. I think that would be each Satoshi at $1. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, what is there, 100,000 Satoshis in one Bitcoin? Yeah, so it gets wild. This cycle redefines the Bitcoin cycle. Amen. Only it is compared to his previous buys. Exactly, Picky Ricky. Let's all hope AI won't be able to crack the code on who bought Bitcoin. I also know Saylor is investing heavily into AI, his company MicroStrategy, some of the more recent news stories as well. HODL till 5 mil. I mean, it's HODL for life. And once you get that, you realize, why would you ever want to sell when you can borrow against it, right? If Bitcoin hypothetically right now is $5 million, how many of you would sell? Why would you want dollars at that point? Trust me, when Bitcoin is 5 million, you're not going to want to touch fiat. Guaranteed. Hence why Bitcoin will be 5 million. Do you understand that? Give me $1 a sat. Send it. Let's freaking go. You know what I mean? $10 per sat. Okay, there you go. So $10 a Satoshi is $1 million Bitcoin. Thank you, Passive. That's right. Because 100,000 Satoshis in a Bitcoin. That makes sense now. You know what I mean? Let's sip on some more water. Thank you, Kaiser. That's correct. Kevin Cortez says exactly. Amen. 100 mil. Johnny Saint. Thank you, fam. 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. You got it, Wilson Lee. I would never let go. Right. Why would you want to depart? Trust me, you think BlackRock and Larry Fink are ever going to depart with their Bitcoin or Ethereum? Never. Not in this lifetime. I'm telling you, they're just there to stack and never let go. And if you can have your stack and sat sentiment the same as the BlackRocks and MicroStrategies of the world, you'll never depart with your Bitcoin either, because you recognize how valuable it truly is and how few people on this planet are going to be able to say, I'm a Bitcoin hodler of, whatever it is, 1 Bitcoin, a half a Bitcoin, a quarter Bitcoin, as many sats as you can stack. We're all in different situations. So never compare yourself to another individual, right? If you were to compare yourself to Michael Saylor, I only have $1,000, so I shouldn't even buy Bitcoin. I can't buy 10, whatever. But you can't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to where you were last week, right? Do you have more Satoshis this week than you had last week, right? Do you have more Satoshis this year than you had last year? If not, make a plan to stack sats. There's still a 2-for-1 fire sale, which won't last much longer. We just collapsed under that 37,000 support. Now it's back to a resistance. We're currently trading at 36,980. Little pullback for the weekend before the pump. We'll see how it plays out. Actually been moving my transactions from Chase to Coinbase. Word up, Lazarus. Must power to you. 600K dump. It will get worse every day, says Unmatrix. DCA says hodl in forever. 4-leaf clover. You already know. No, it's not. 10 cents per Satoshi is 1 million Bitcoin, says Johnny Saint. Well, we have different math. I don't know the math off the top of my head, so it is what it is. I would sell 400,000 and put it in an annuity and live off the interest in Mexico. Or is that Mexico? Mexico and America? Word up. A big UFC card tonight, fam. And also, Dana announced they're going to be opening up a performance institute in Mexico. You brought up Mexico, so it's on my mind. Shout out to Ricardo Salinas, the 3rd richest man in Bitcoin and a big Bitcoin bull as well. Picky Ricky says in my Coinbase account, well, keep in mind, fam, you never need to tell anyone how much Bitcoin you hold. There's no advantage to it, just disadvantages. And especially as you start to gather more and more Bitcoin. So keep that to heart. Just want to pass that along to you. People will try to extort you. People can try to attack you. All sorts of negative consequences with openly just letting people know how much you have. Because then the hackers are going to be like, oh, how do I get a hold of his computer? You know what I mean? So be careful out there. And obviously, attack vectors are exchanges. So don't keep your coins on the exchanges. Exchanges are for trading, making your trades, and then put it on cold storage. You know what I mean? That would probably be the smartest move, but learn how to self-custody. That's right, Crypto Castles, UFC today, big fight night. Looking forward to it. Let's see if Alex Pereira can become a double champ. That'll be interesting. You know what I mean? Listen, Acrosis, word up, cracked knee. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the movement. And don't forget, we also have a Clips channel at clips.cryptonewsalerts.net. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on the new channel. And what I do is we take shorts and clips from these daily live streams and we upload them exclusively to the Clips channel. So if you're not subscribed over there, make sure to do so. Again, it's clips.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also, make sure you're plugged into our Discord to connect with the Crypto News Alerts fam, which is discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. cryptonewsalerts.net. You also find a link in the description below. But anyways, fam, what we're going to do next, we're going to continue with uncensored Crypto News Alerts and JV Reacts live on Rumble. If you didn't know, I stream simultaneously on both platforms at the same time. So right now we're live on YouTube, but we're also live on Rumble. The YouTube stream is going to end, and we're going to continue with uncensored Crypto News Alerts and a live JV React session for you. I got music to play for you, clips already loaded up we're going to react to. It's going to be lit. I highly encourage you to follow me over on Rumble if you're not already doing so. Why? Because it's an uncensored platform. I can speak freely, and I can talk about things I can't talk about here on YouTube. It's just the nature of the beast. So anyways, head on over to Rumble right now, and let's get this party started, shall we? And I'll look forward to seeing you. Same bit time, same bit channel tomorrow. Deuces, YouTube, I am out.